The 24-hour Le Mans is the most grueling, unrelenting, unforgiving race to ever exist. It takes more than just throwing money at it. You gotta be smart about it. Today I'm going to talk about some teams that just had terrible luck, some teams that decided to build an airplane instead of a car, and some teams that didn't even enter to win. Yes, you heard that right, they didn't even enter to win. So what the fuck did they enter for? Well, stick around and I'll tell you. In 1988, in the Group C class, Peugeot decided to enter their car, the P88, also known as Project 400, simply to set a top speed record. And why did they do it? Because they could. This was at a time where the Mulsanne Straight was just a long, straight line. No chicanes, nothing. And if you ran out of room to reach a top speed, your car was too slow. During the 1988 race, they spent more time in the garage than they actually did on the track. In fact, they only did 13 laps in the entire 24 hours. Eventually their driver, Roger Dorchi, got to take the car out, shook it down, and then turned the boost up to get as much power out of the engine as possible. Once he made it to the Mulsanne Straight, he set a blistering 405 kilometers per hour. For people who don't know the metric system, that's 252 miles per hour. And almost immediately after that, his engine blew up. It decided, nah, I'm done. Most teams would be upset about DNFing in the most prestigious race in the world, but not Peugeot. Instead, they took that 405 kph and they used it to advertise their road car, the 405. And even though they didn't finish the race, Peugeot and Roger Dorchi still hold the top speed record. Did you know that Mercedes makes planes? Me either. Well, not really, but no one told that to their aerodynamic engineer. What's an aerodynamic engineer called? Okay, apparently an aerodynamic engineer is an aerodynamicist. Okay, we'll go with that. In 1999, Mark Webber was driving the Mercedes CLR prototype and flipped the car in qualifying, and then again in the race. This effectively got his car out of the race altogether. So the only Mercedes that was left was driven by Peter Dumbrick. Now before I show you this clip, just know that Peter was fine. He just got knocked out, but he was fine. No fatalities, he's okay.
See them, here we go. Oh my god, the Mercedes has taken off.
The reason that the CLR decided to turn to a rocket ship and go to space is because the car was low slung to the ground to get that ever important top speed. Now, since it was going after the top speed, it didn't have any sort of rake. Rake is a fancy way of saying face down, ass up. So the nose would be closer to the ground and the back would be lifted. But since it didn't have any sort of rake, once it came over the crest of the hill, the air ended up going underneath the car and flipping it over, effectively turning it from a race car to the wing of a fighter jet. In 2016, Toyota was not the dominating force it is today. It was facing off between Audi, Porsche, Bicoles, and Rebellion Racing with their LMP1 TS050. They did manage to qualify 3rd and 4th and even got their number 5 car ahead of the lead Porsche by 9 AM the next day. They even extended that lead by a full minute by the last lap. With Kazuki Nakajima driving on the very last lap, on the very last turn, well, just take a look for yourself.
It's stopping! It's stopping! There's going to be a lead change on the start-finish line. There is a new leader. 3 minutes, 21 seconds to go, and there's a new leader. The 5 car has stopped.
You know, they say that the Le Mans track picks the winners. I'm pretty sure this proves it. While I do feel Nakajima's pain, I don't feel too bad for him. He did manage to win 3 more overall Le Mans victories after that. So, you win some, you lose some. Lastly, we have a very ambitious failure by Nissan with their LMGTR. At the time in the LMP1 class, all the entries had pretty standard design. Turbo, mid-engine, rear-wheel drive with a hybrid system. Nissan said, I don't like that, and decided to flip the entire car around to exploit a whole bunch of aerodynamic loopholes. This means all the downforce was in the front, the engine was in the front, and it was even front-wheel drive. This prototype even featured a front-wheel drive system that could change to an all-wheel drive system when it needed to. Unfortunately, in designing the car, the departments kind of forgot to talk to each other when designing it, so putting it together was like taking 2 jigsaw puzzles and smushing them together. By the time they even got to Le Mans, half the things didn't work, they qualified 30th and didn't even finish the race. But not before this happened.
I was out on track doing just over 330 kilometers an hour when suddenly out of nowhere I hit something which ripped the bonnet off, which ripped all the lights off.
Were they ambitious? Yes. Was it a complete and utter shit show? Also yes. But of all the cars in the 2015 grid, the Nissan was by far my favorite. And with this non-promotional plug, there is a documentary on Amazon Prime called Racing is Everything. Great series, check it out. Well, that's all the failure I can take for today. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. Like, subscribe if you like the video, and buckle up and stay safe.